Okay, so thank you for your attention, guys. As usual, I'm the only woman in the room. Sorry, ladies. So my name is Katleen. I'm from Belgium, from Hasselt. And my last name is Evers, so I started my company 4Evers Games in January this year. And before that, I worked for a French company, because I'm based in France, called Plug & Digital. And so now we decided to split up, and everybody goes his own way. So that's where 4Evers Games was born. Quite easy with my last name, Evers. Jules, that's my cat. I love cats, so. That's basically my background. So I was here to talk, I'm here to talk to you about how to prepare a show if you're going to talk to a publisher or a distributor. David already covered lots of things that I will be saying as well. So what do you do before, during, and after the show? So let's talk about major worldwide events. First one, of course, is gamescom. Those are the figures of 2016. So gamescom is really, really amazing. If you've never been there, prepare yourself to go like, wow. I'm going for the 7th time this year. So first time, it was really, really hard, and we made lots of kilometers walking around. So comfy shoes are indeed a good advice. Then there is GDC San Francisco, USA, as well, which is, for me, a more important show than even Gamescom or E3, because there are lots of announcements that are made at GDC. There are a lot of talks at GDC. It's usually connected with Game Connection, which takes place in the AT&T Stadium, which is really impressive as well. GDC, the hotels are very important, because all the meetings do take place in the hotels room. So you go from the W to whatever hotel in the area. So E3 is going on right now, as you know. So and I'm so happy not to be there, because actually it's more like those huge announcements that are made every year by Ubisoft, by whatever, THQ, whatever, big publisher, Ubisoft, and stuff like that. So it's very interesting if you're planning on going to consoles. It's very important for publishers that are really present in the Japanese market on PS4 or whatever Chinese market. Of course, there are lots of shows. There's Casual Connect in Seattle, where I'm going to in end of July. There's Game Connection Paris Games Week. There are much of indie events as well, like EJAX. There is Amaze in Berlin. There is whatever. I mean, there's so many shows. If you want to go to a show, you can go to shows 2 times a month. It's very, very easy, but very time-consuming and very, very expensive. Travel costs are very, very hard to cover if you're on loan, if you're a small company, and if you have to show your game into the area on the floor, really on the consumer for the B2C, sorry, then it's very, very hard to get money and to get that covered. So what you should do before going there is set your goals. It's very important that you know what you are looking for. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for money? Do you want to contact only publishers? Do you want to contact distributors? You don't want money, perhaps? You're just looking for PR? You're just looking for a guiding light? Or what are you looking for? That's very important that you know that before you go. So that's where comes in the point, who do you want to meet? I mean, what do you want to meet? Do you want to meet publishers? You don't want to meet Mickey Mouse, that's for sure, because you won't see him. I mean, it's very important that you know who you want to meet as well. So once you have decided on that, then you grab the list of attendees, and then you go like, okay, what do I do first? I go to the website of the company. What do they do? Get some background, get information about the company that you want to know, that you want to meet up with. It's very, very important to go through that list. I know it's a very painful task, but you have to do it before you leave. Really, it's very, very important. So once you have settled that, you go and prep your stuff. So first thing you have to do is pitch your game. I mean, you don't want to go and meet up with a publisher saying, okay, I'm doing this little game. I mean, yeah, it's a free-to-play or it's a mobile, something, yeah, well, let me show you. No, you just go and be prepared. You have to wrap up the game, show the game to them, make a trailer, make a playable demo if you can, if you have the means to. But it's very important to have a playable demo, actually. Even if it's just work in progress, doesn't matter. You have to decide on the time frame that you are counting on. Time frame means when are you going into alpha? When are you planning on doing an early access? Do you want to do an early access? Do you need an early access or not? That's what I told you guys just a few seconds ago. If you are planning on doing an early access, don't make it run like for 1 year. It doesn't make sense to have an early access that it's too long. I mean, the feedback will be too long. It will be very difficult to give follow-up to the public, to the community and stuff. So the time frame is very important. The budget is very important as well, of course, because you have to set up what the costs are, how many people that are working on the game for you, the graphic guys, the sound engineers, everybody, the developers. Then you have to set the release date. I mean, you don't want your game to come out during E3, for example. So release date, setting up a release date is very, very important. Same thing goes for release date during the Steam sales, is not useful because well, you won't have any visibility at all. So check on your release date. Even if it takes a bit more time, be really precise about the release date that you're going to pick. Very important. Do you need funding? Do you need money? What do you want to do? Do you want to do a Kickstarter? Do you want to do a Loo? Do you want to, I don't know, green light is over now. So funding, yes or no, and how? If you want to run a Kickstarter, what you should know is that Kickstarter, a project on Kickstarter, takes like at least 3 months of a full-time job for one person. It's not something that you're going to jump on like that and say, okay, I'll run a Kickstarter, I'll just ask with $10,000, it's not much, but actually it's very, very hard to complete a Kickstarter project successfully. And then obtain the contacts, which actually gets a bit back to the list of attendees, but you should try and get into those contacts. You know, it's not like by sending an email to Ubisoft or Valve that you're going to have an appointment at gamescom or whatever show. So it's very important to talk with your colleagues, to go out there. That's what David said as well. Mingle as much as possible. Go to events, go to parties, go wherever gaming people are, actually. I mean, Belgium is a very Europe-centric country, so it's easy. In 1 hour you're in Paris. I mean, it's easy to go to Paris Games Week. It's easy to go to whatever, what is it again? And Paris is lots of festivals and things are going on there. So it's very, very near Brussels, so it's easy to come. I'm not talking only about Paris, though. So does anybody recognize this little thing? No? So actually, it's the robot of Supreme Commander. David took Rambo as an example to be ready. I took Supreme Commander. Why? Because Supreme Commander is a real-time strategy game made by Chris Taylor, who's a friend of mine. And so I asked him to use this image, and he said, yeah, go ahead, knock them down, tell them to be ready with this game, because pitching a publisher is a real-time strategy job. You have to be prepared, be ready. So yes, Supreme Commander is basically all about getting your game out to the publisher. So yeah, Supreme Commander is about. So now, what do we do during the meeting? So let's figure it out. I'm at my table, and you're coming to my booth. And you're presenting yourself. What do you do? Okay, so you have a sexy look. I mean, you don't come in, as David said as well, you don't come in with, I don't know, dirty clothes, not smelling good. I mean, I'm a girl, I'm sensitive to it. I know I'm not, and we're not very much girls in the business, but it is important to have a look, actually. Smile. Yeah, you don't go out there and go, oh no, I'm so sad about my game. No, you're happy, this is your baby, you smile, you're talking about with love. So you're smiling when you're pitching your game. Be self-assured. I mean, show them that you have confidence in your game. You are confident in the future. Your game is going to be a hit. You have to convince them. That's what's so important. Have an attitude. I mean, a positive attitude, that is. Don't be no smart ass too. I mean, if you're too smart ass, then it's not good as well. But just show positive attitude and let them know that you're there and that the game is very, very important to you and that they should take the game on board. So during the meeting, how does it go? Usually when I go to Gamescom or other shows, I have my first meeting is at 8:30 and my last meeting is at 7:30. So I have non-stop meetings, so I don't have time to go to the toilet. I don't have time to grab lunch, and I don't have time to take my biggest contact out for lunch. So that's not happening for me. So what do? The first minutes you say, hello, how are you, where are you from, did you have safe travels, where were you staying, blah, 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 5 minutes, everybody says a bit about themselves. And then you go and blah, blah, thing about your game. You are pitching the game. So there are some things that you should know and that you should really, really consider. It's very important that you try out the game before you leave. Be sure that you're not out of battery. Be sure that you're not low on battery. Be sure that everything, the controllers work. Be sure that you don't waste time setting up the game, showing to the publisher, right? So everything, all devices must work correctly. If you don't, if you're like, okay, my God, oh, this is not working, and why? It's not a good impression. It's not a positive attitude. So be sure that everything works. And offer some testing materials. As I said, a playable demo. If the game's on early access, you can get early access keys. That's very important. What you said, Kevin, as well, is it's very important to have special business cards with yeah, with PR stuff on it. Just another thing, if you hand out those things, be sure that it's not black, because publishers, yeah, it's very important, because publishers like to write down stuff, and you can't write down on black business cards. So black business cards, no way. Same goes for the PR material.
Plastic, so you couldn't write it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just to hand out on the black business cards. So. Don't forget your business cards, because that happens. You know that it happens. I mean, so the studio's coming over and said, hi, oh God, I'm out of business cards. No, you just cannot run out of business cards. That is so unprofessional. I mean, business cards are very useful, and you have tons of them after the show, that's for sure. So then, once you're done pitching your game and everybody's happy, then you're going to ask them, what can they do for you? What is their editorial line? Is the game fitting into that? I mean, if there are specialized in simulation games, well, then I don't think it's really a good idea to go and show your FPS, right? So sometimes it's a bit tricky to convince a publisher if it's not in their editorial line. It's very important as well. So, can they give you money? Do they focus on your kind of game? Do they focus on PC platforms? Do they focus on consoles? Do they focus on mobile? Whatever platform is very important too. But that you should already know if you did your job correctly by going through the attendee list. So actually, this is where you say, okay, I did my job well. I prepped my stuff good. Okay, so that's their turn, and then you say, au revoir. 5 minutes. You say okay guys, it was a nice meeting, and yeah, definitely we'll take some beers at the British corner, or we go to the Belgian party, or we go to the Canadians. Canadians are very good at partying, very good. At GDC managed to go in this year, yeah. At the Canadian party, my God, they are so wild. Incredible. And it's like you said, mingle. It's a very good example. Actually, I was waiting for my next meeting at the W, and there was this tall guy. I'm sure you know him, Hugo. basically, so anyways. So we sat down and, hey, what do you do? Yeah, what do you do? And so you start talking, and then he told, oh, I'm from Quebec. Okay, so then we can speak French. Yeah, and then, okay, let's switch to English again, because French from Quebec is so hard to understand. So, and he said, yeah, well, I would like to get into the GDC floor, because not everybody does get in. And he said, hey, and I would like to get into the Canadian party. Can you help me? Yeah, sure, can you help me? Okay, give me a business card, and I'll get you an entrance to the GDC floor, and I got into the Canadian party. So that's where mingling is very important indeed. Okay, so what's next? Well, as usual, you're exhausted because you have been walking around for ages and kilometers if you don't have a booth. Well, really jumping from one meeting into another. I was really lucky the last years that I had a booth and I basically sat down all day, so I wasn't that exhausted. I was exhausted from talking because you do the same talk over and over and over again, normally. And then, yeah, well, so you're so tired and you say, oh, shit, I just want to go home, see my family. But yeah, you have tons of business cards to take care about. What do you do about those business cards? And you go into your hotel room and then, okay, there are so many of them. What can I do with them? I really basically will lose them anyways while I'll be traveling back home. So yeah, you have headaches because the parties. It's very, very important. I mean, I think basically 65% of the deals are really signed on a bar table at Gamescom, really. The British guys, they start drinking at 4:30. I mean, they basically really drunk at 10 o'clock in the evening. So the next morning they come in like, oh God, headaches. And everybody's taking like pills to get over it and stuff. So it's really, it's really important. And you have to travel back. Depends on where you live. But I mean, heading for GDC, Gamescom is easy for us. I mean, it's just around the corner, right? I'm going by car this year, so it's really next door. If you go to GDC San Francisco or Seattle Casual Connect, it's just not the same thing. Yeah, then you're just so jet lagged. You have 9 hours time difference, you have 14 hours flight, something. So depending on where you're going, which show you're attending to, it is important that you take the travel accommodation into account. It's very important. We're not getting any younger. I mean, with lack of sleep, lack of everything, food, of water, of basically everything, it's very hard, those shows. You have these kind of mixed feelings of what happened during your pitch. Did you do it well? Are they interested in your game? Would they be able in setting up a deal with you or not? Are they going to bite? Are they going to bite that fish that you so want to sign that deal with them? Then, so you come home, you take some time off, like 2-3 days to get over it, and then you start your follow-up. Okay, so what do? Add all your business cards to your LinkedIn profile. That's for sure one thing, the first thing that you should do. If you took notes, then the ones that you're really interested in are on top of your pile. Mostly that's the ones that you are going to address an email to in like, yeah, the first place. The first guys that you really want to add. If you had that good sense with them, if you feel, I mean, I feel when a studio is really happy about the game, is really excited about it, about the project, about what they can bring to me and what I can give them. It's really an exchange of help and guidance, in my opinion, actually. So not only LinkedIn, you always do Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, or whatever, StockMats. I mean, it's very important David knows something about it because he's always twittering, so it's really cool and very important indeed. And I think perhaps every company, every publishing or distributing company should have one person really dedicated to the social media only and exclusively, which is very, very complicated because you have to drag that audience to your sites, to your profile, to your, tweets and so that you can get the ball rolling, right? So, and then you send the famous thank you emails, even if it's not conclusive, even if they say, no, go ahead, go waste it, I don't like your game. I don't want to spend 50,000 euros or whatever budget on your game. It's not worthwhile. But you send that thank you email in any case. I mean, that's the basic rule. So even if you have tons of business cards, well, then you send tons of emails. I mean, it's free, right? Just take some time, that's all. And you send a thank you email as well, if it is conclusive, of course. And you set up a Skype call to talk about the details. And you don't waste time waiting for them to get to you, because that's not going to happen, most likely. If you showed your interest, normally if the meeting went right, and went well, then the publisher would have said, okay, send me all the material that you have, send me some Steam keys, I will evaluate with my team, and I will have it reviewed by other people, so give me everything you have. So that's where you start. When you get back home, you send that email, and you send all the links, whatever playable demo you have, everything, all material, you have to send it to them. So once you have sent that, if they don't come back, get back to them. Like, 1 week after that. I mean, it's very important not to lose them, not to lose their interest in your game, right? So, then you sign the deal, okay? So you no, you don't say shut up, but you hope that really, if you did do your pitch well, and if you did get the stuff really good prepped up before you leave for Gamescom or whatever show, in any case, a global publisher meeting, then you will sign a deal. I mean, normally you will. If you're enthusiastic, if you're excited, if you have everything timed out, rolled out on paper, PR material ready, whatever stuff you need, everything. The more you have, the better it is, okay? So that's it. And then, well, yeah, let me wish you a very, very great show at Gamescom. Is everybody going here? Everybody's going? You're not going, Kevin? You're not going? Yes, sorry. So I'll be there in any case as well for the 7th time zone this year. And if I understand well, they completely changed the setup of the booths this year compared to last year. So there will be some. The first day is always a bit like, okay, you have to, where is everybody and who's setting up where, and then you have to go to the book. It's like this one, this big. So, well, if you have questions, if you want to meet up with me later on, I'm here until tomorrow morning. I'll be flying back to France tomorrow, but I'll be here the whole night. So happy to meet up with you guys, and thank you for your time, and thank you for